Ever notice a small speck, squiggly line, or cobweb-like shape drifting across your vision? Especially when looking at something bright? You're not imagining it, and you're definitely not alone. It's called an eye floater, and to understand why it happens, we need to go inside the eye. Your eyeball isn't solid. Most of its interior is filled with a clear, jelly-like substance called the vitreous. It fills the space between the lens at the front and the retina at the back, the light-sensitive layer that sends visual signals to your brain. When you're young, this vitreous gel is thick, smooth, and evenly attached to the retina. As we age, the vitreous naturally starts to change. It slowly shrinks and becomes more liquid. In tiny clumps of collagen fibers, the gel's structural protein forms strands within it. This process usually begins around age 40 to 50, though it can happen earlier in nearsighted people or after eye injury or surgery. Here's the key. Those little clumps and strands aren't invisible. As light enters your eye and travels toward the retina, it passes through the vitreous first. When a clump floats into that light path, it casts a tiny shadow onto the retina. Your brain interprets that shadow as a dark speck, thread, or cobweb drifting in your field of vision, a floater. They tend to be most noticeable against bright, plain backgrounds, like a clear sky or a white wall, because that's when the shadow contrasts most sharply. Flashes are a related but different phenomenon. As the vitreous shrinks, it can tug on the retina at points where it's still attached. The retina doesn't sense touch or pressure the way skin does. It only knows how to sense light. So when it's stretched or pulled, it fires off a signal anyway, and your brain interprets that signal as a brief flash or streak of light, even in a dark room. This is most common when the vitreous is in the process of separating from the retina, a normal age-related event called posterior vitreous detachment. A few floaters that have been there for a while, drifting slowly and gradually fading, are usually harmless and simply a normal part of aging. But a sudden burst of new floaters, frequent flashes of light, or a dark curtain or shadow spreading across your vision can signal something more serious, like a retinal tear or detachment, where the retina pulls away from the back of the eye. This is considered a medical emergency and needs immediate attention from an eye doctor. If you experience a sudden change, an eye doctor will typically dilate your pupils and examine the retina closely to check for tears, detachment, or bleeding. In most routine cases, no treatment is needed for floaters. The brain gradually learns to ignore them over time. But if a retinal tear or detachment is found, prompt treatment can prevent permanent vision loss. Floaters and flashes are usually just a normal sign of your eyes changing with age. But knowing the difference between harmless and urgent could save your vision, so when in doubt, don't wait to get it checked.